There are moments where I like would love to make like a driving vlog, but bro, hitting record and Hi guys, today I'm gonna just sit back and relax and do one of these ranty videos that I haven't done in a while, where I pretty much have no script and I just go off talking about a subject. And today that subject is my social and driving anxiety. First off, disclaimer, I have not actually been diagnosed. I know that might make y'all like log off this video, but I do think that this is what I feel. I might be wrong. I might send this video to my future therapist, and even if it's not, it's definitely feelings that I have that might concord with what anxiety is, so I think it's still valid. That being said, let me explain that I think I have felt anxiety, like general anxiety. Is that something that everyone feels? I don't know. But my earliest memory of like having anxiety was like in 6th grade. I would be so afraid to tell my mother what grade I got in like math, because that was my hardest subject, and she would be very angry if I didn't get an A. Of course, that was resolved later in life. We both realized we both have anxiety, and that's okay. But that was my earliest memory of it, of the symptoms of like the coldness, the stiffness, the hard to breathe, the cold hands, that feeling that you can't really do anything or think about anything else except for that. I don't know if those are all symptoms of anxiety or just a few of them or whatever, but I do feel like that is what it is. And there are a lot of situations that give me anxiety, but there are two peculiar situations that heavily affect my life, which are social anxiety and driving anxiety. Like, I get anxiety at the wheel. Clearly we've been managing it, but those are still things that I live with. So I'm gonna get into my social anxiety first. So I feel like a lot of people think, you know, like the memes of, can you ask for the ketchup? Or, Mom, can you make that doctor's appointment for me? I feel like those are memes that not exactly represent social anxiety, but they can be a part of it. I think my social anxiety comes up because of two things. One, it's situational. I feel like it depends on the situation that I am at, like the typical, you know, at school or at work specifically. One time I asked my teacher, hey, I have this doubt about something, and she said that I was behind like a dog's balls. And sure, that might be funny, but for a kid, for a very small kid that I was, that heavily affected me. And I just want to say, f you, teacher, because I just realized right now that that was one of the moments where I also had anxiety, and I didn't want to like ask teachers, and I didn't want to ask professors things, because I felt, and that's the other thing, self-esteem, because I felt like they would know that I don't know anything, or that I would just not know the answer to a question, or wasn't paying attention in class, but I just didn't want to ask them. Another teacher also said, like, when I made a question, they were like, are you in love? Kiara, ta enamora? And like the whole class would laugh at me. How do you not have social anxiety stemming from that, bro? Like, teachers would like embarrass you in front of the whole class. How would I not then feel intimidated to ask them anything? My self-esteem really affected how I interacted with people. Now, it is true that sometimes in life, especially at work, when you're a young person being a realtor, typically people in this realm are like 40, 50 something, they kind of do look down on you. And if they don't look down on you, they certainly think that you're inexperienced or that you can't hold your ground. And a lot of people would think that. A lot of people would think that they're the alpha. I hate using those terms. I feel like only pickup artists speak in betas and alphas, but you know what I mean. In the world, there are type A people that would think that they are better than you and would completely carry a conversation. But sometimes I would think I am the beta. I feel like sometimes I would talk to someone and I would think, oh my god, I am less than. This person is going to eat me alive when they talk to me, but they really don't care. They just want to talk to me. And I would think that I am less than. Also, like saying the wrong thing, group settings or something, and being corrected would also affect me. It would be things like if I said a word wrong, like I would be corrected, and I feel like at home I would be told like you're gonna make yourself look dumb. Not to put any of this on my parents, but every single person will bring up their parents in therapy, you know? But I would feel like I was making myself look dumb if I talked to people, so I would not talk to people. And if I had to, I would feel extremely nervous and extremely uncomfortable with it. I genuinely felt like I was going to be perceived as a pendeja, sincerely. And I feel like people still do think that that's who I am. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Whenever I would have to confront, you know, a partner or my friends about something, I get the shivers, bro. It's so hard to even get my words out. And I'm gonna go on a bit of a tangent here. It's still related, trust me. I know a lot of people say that you should definitely confront your conservative slash, you know, let's say sexist parents, and that is extremely true. I feel like you should let them know how you feel. However, first of all, for a lot of people that could mean them being in danger. For other people, talking to them about something and trying to convince the other party can be very, very difficult. Your mental health is way more important than trying to change the minds of people that will not change their minds. I know that sounds a bit controversial, but sincerely, I can imagine a situation where me or a lot of us could talk to certain family members or just people in general and really try to convince them about our point of view. And there are people that might change and might be like, maybe you have a point. And there are people that will leave you broken. Literally, they will not change their mind, but all you're left with is like a ton of anxiety and heartbrokenness and even physical malestar. Getting back on track, those are situations that I feel are extremely anxiety inducing. And it also does have to do with self-esteem, because then I feel like, oh my god, I didn't get my words out right, I didn't defend myself well, all because I was probably shaking or there was a lack of breath, like I couldn't breathe. I've gone through that and it really sucks. I'm pretty sure at Thanksgiving a lot of y'all are gonna be like this, or maybe not, social distancing, but trying to convince family members that think they're alphas and they're type A's and have to control a conversation all the time, with them thinking that and trying to overpower a situation so much, I think they're gonna just break you in half emotionally and mentally. Now, other situations, going out, for example, if I'm with my girls and we meet someone or they introduce someone to me and they don't have a problem of like the power dynamic and it's all going good, you know, they think that they're meeting a stranger, I'm thinking I'm meeting a stranger, they don't think they're meeting someone who's less than or more than, I'm pretty good, you know, as long as the playing field is leveled. Is that how you say it? Now, I'm very aware of stranger danger. I have always been so keen on stranger danger, bro. When I was a kid, I was at a birthday party and me and my cousins walked down the street and there was a lady and she was like,
"Hey kids, do you want puppies? My dog just gave birth."
And I have been so keen on stranger danger that I went,
"No, I have 5.
and I went running the other direction. "You want it? Come get it." John Mulaney reference. And my cousins were all, "No, like we know this lady." I'm so proud of myself because like I have always been very keen on like, you know, these strangers are dangerous or strangers can be dangerous. You know, that has definitely made part of my social anxiety. I've been a very sheltered person, you know? So of course that has had to do, you know, and like I have had situations where like, for example, if we're at the club and the guy or someone just wants to talk to you and like you feel that pressure to talk to this person, I've had to learn to set boundaries, which is a pretty big theme in this video. But setting boundaries and being like, no, I don't want to talk to you, or just letting it be clear like this is my space, very important. But it is still so frustrating and you can still feel so much anxiety when you feel pressured to talk to someone that you don't want to, or feel forced to interact with someone that you don't want to. I didn't put a trigger warning at the beginning of this video, so I will just say that I had a situation happen to me at a Sephora. And Sephora for a lot of people is a safe place, it's a happy place. Imagine something awful happened to you at something you consider a happy place. It literally made me feel like I was just never safe anywhere. So of course that also has made my social anxiety plummet, because it makes me feel like everyone is out to get me, or a lot of people are out to get me, or not to get me but are harmful, are out to do harm to me. So trying to shake that off has definitely been a journey. You know, I've been trying to really go out there and kind of put on this, not a facade, but like, you know, this mask of like, I am a confident person, I am talking to you and I am confident in myself. You are not less than me, but you are also not more than me, and I will treat you as an like the power dynamic was that everyone else was better than me. Now I'm trying to be more like everyone is equal to me, and that is how I've managed it, that everyone out there is also going through shit. Everyone out there has their own insecurities, has their own fears, has their own, you know, not everyone is always on, you know, to talk to people just as well as I am. Another thing, I don't know if this has to do with like antisocial disorder. I don't want to get into it because I'm not an expert at it, but you know how being a sociopath and being a psychopath is an antisocial disorder? Feel free to correct me in the comments, but I don't know if like social exhaustion has to do with that. You know how a lot of people are like, oh, you're just antisocial. Well, I feel like what I feel is social exhaustion a lot of the times. You know, the typical you're out partying and then suddenly you're like, oh no, I want to go go home. I don't want to interact with anyone. I feel that a lot. But I also feel like, you know, now with this new age society, you know, we're always connected. We're always on our phones. A lot of our friends are one click, one call, one text away. And it makes it hard to like establish boundaries and be like, this is my free time, this is my alone time, or you texted me, sure, but I will text you when I want to. I feel like it's kind of hard to establish those boundaries now, but I have. Sometimes if someone is like demanding that I talk to them too much, I do get nervous or I do get anxious. And there are moments where like I feel bad that I feel like this happens to a lot of people, but yeah, like I feel bad that I haven't texted that person. Or like this is what happens a lot. Sometimes someone texts me and I'm like, oh, I'm kind of busy, I'll text them at another moment, and I don't for a while, unless it's an emergency. If it's an emergency, of course I'll be there, but I would like to give that person like a quality response at the very least, or give them my good or well attention. Unfortunately, that sometimes doesn't come around. Sometimes I just don't want to. Thankfully, my social anxiety hasn't really ruined any relationships or anything like that, but it is certainly, you know, sometimes hard. You just have to really find friends or really establish those boundaries with people. Of course, like I've tried to also up my self-esteem and be like, you know, I am just like everybody else. I can talk to this person and they're not gonna think that I'm a loser or that I suck. They're not gonna see right through me and see that I have no idea what I'm doing. They are just another person, just like you and me. It is a process though. Here's the thing. It took me a lot of time to really unlearn that I am not worthy of people's time, or that I am more unworthy of asking people for things or whatever. So now let's get into my driving anxiety. I feel like this one is a little more rare, but it's definitely something that maybe a lot of people do have, even if they drive a lot. I don't drive a lot. I have to say that I have been very privileged to have my mother who, like, she retired. She is the one that has helped me out for so long to, like, take me places and take me to gigs. And I remember a friend, which I appreciate you, but it stuck with me. This person was like, I would be really ashamed if my mom had to take me to college every day, which she did. But thankfully I had that help, because before I used to think I was lazy. I realized that I wasn't lazy. I actually really like driving. And lately I have been practicing it more. Like mom's like, oh, I want to go somewhere and I'm the one driving. And I feel great when I drive. But I was just never ready until now. Due to me not being able to drive, I have lost a lot of independence. I have lost a lot of moments where I could have gone somewhere and I didn't because I didn't drive. I had a breakthrough recently. I had a fear that if I had an accident, my parents would blame it on me. Even if it wasn't my fault, I would feel responsible and guilty. And sincerely, responsibility is something very big when it comes to driving, which is one of my fears. Like, I'm out here and I'm responsible for all the people in this vehicle, even if just that person is me or the vehicle itself, because fixing cars is not cheap. But then I had my first real car crash. Wow, funny and such a shameful story. I did one of the most embarrassing things you could do. I backed into a parked car, and it was because I was feeling kind of cocky and I was like, yeah, you know what, oh my god, I can do. And I hit a man and his wife / girlfriend, I don't know what it was. They were probably around my age. Oh my god, that was so embarrassing. Everyone was okay, thank god. However, my parents reacted so well. They were like, are you okay? Is everything fine? And I didn't get scolded or anything, thank god. But I do still have that fear that, like, even if I'm going down the road and someone hits me or someone else causes the incident, that it's gonna be my fault somehow for the time that I was out, or why did I go down another route, or that it's somehow going to be my fault. I know that the car crash was actually my fault. I hold all the responsibility for backing into that car, but I can imagine myself being a good driver and still holding on to that fear of like a bigger accident not being caused by me, being my fault somehow by some other factor. So nowadays what I do is just drive more. Like, obviously the only way to get better at something is to do it, right? So like I said at the beginning, I drive my mom around. Everything you do has to be at your own pace. I know I was privileged enough to have someone drive me around, but now I am ready to do it myself, which I am very grateful for. And I'm very grateful for my mom's patience, that she was like, no, you drive when you want to. And also sometimes they wouldn't believe in me when I wanted to like drive somewhere, and they'd be like, you're gonna go there, you gotta be very careful, you gotta pull up the airbags right now, so you drive very cautiously. Sometimes you do have to be pushed though. Like, don't get this twisted. I'm very grateful that this happened, but like my ex-boyfriend would sometimes be like, no, we're driving today. You're driving today. Come on, let's go. And I would kind of be pushed. And I think it's good when you have a partner who pushes you to do things that you need to do. You know, like not things you don't have to do, not things that you're not ready to do, but certainly things like that. Like, I definitely appreciated that. However, I still wasn't ready. Like, he would tell me, you're 8 years late. And I'm like, no. Now I think that I can drive. Now I am ready to do it on my own terms. And I think that's very important, you know. If I am hungry and I want to eat some sushi, I go and get some sushi, which is like 2 minutes away from my house. If I want to go see a friend, I just drive very carefully and I go see my friend. And that is an independence that is like worth a bajillion dollars. You know, it's so important to have that independence. And I'm finally getting there. That's just how I have managed my anxiety until now. It really is a process. It's not something that you get rid of. There's no cure, right? So you gotta really learn how to deal with it every day and try to be above it instead of letting your life be defined by it. Sometimes it's really, really hard. There are moments where I just want to and disappear because of social anxiety or because of driving, but this isn't me telling you or even saying that I have just gotten over it. Like, get over it. No, you manage it. Somehow you learn how to live with it. Also, your anxiety is completely valid. Like, don't let anyone tell you like you're afraid of driving. What the yeah, I am. What are you gonna do about it? It's something that I have to live with. It's something that I am trying to manage. Don't let anyone make you feel shitty about your fears and your anxieties. Like, they're valid. And on that note, I'm hungry. Might not get myself some sushi, but I definitely will get myself something nice to eat. So thank you for watching. Hopefully something resonated with you. Hopefully not, because I would not like you to have social or driving anxiety. But if you do already have it, I hope that some of this helped some way. But yeah, thanks for listening. And you know, the usual, like, subscribe, or do neither. Just so happy you're here. I'm gonna copy Smokey Glow because honestly, I am so happy that you're just at least watching. All right, I'm gonna go. See you guys.